Welcome to One Old Man's Opinion, episode 14. I'm the old man. Today I'm going to talk about Zohran Mamdani, the guy who was recently elected to be mayor of New York City. And with special focus on my friends, the 30+% of the Jewish voters in New York City who voted for this guy. My question to those people: have you taken leave of your senses? Have you gone completely insane? Did you do that out of stupidity or ignorance or deliberate cognitive disconnect? Holy cow. Do you really know anything about this guy? Apparently not. Either that or, oh, that's it, you're suicidal. Mercy gracious. Oh, well, I hope I don't catch it from YouTube for using that word. Well, let me tell you a little something about Zohran Mamdani. Here I am on the West Coast, 3,000 miles from where you are. And I apparently know enough not to vote for this guy. Well, you've already blown it. Hope that there's enough New York left when his term is up that you don't put him back. Give him a second round. Mr. Mamdani is a Shia Muslim. Not just any old kind of Muslim. He's the kind that they have in Iran. Remember? Nuclear weapons, Iran. Why do they want nuclear weapons? So they can use them on Israel? Hello? Are we awake? He's a nutcase Muslim. He supports Palestine. And when he's backed into a corner, he'll say anything he needs to get out of that corner. And that's something you find in here. This is the Quran. I labored my way through this a few years back, not this very one, and it was pretty much the most violent thing I've ever read in my life, but whatever. This one is in chronological order, so it's easier to understand. The Quran usually has all the biggest verses in front, and they get smaller as it goes to the back, except for the very first one. Makes it very difficult to understand because Muhammad changed his mind from time to time. Wait. It wasn't Muhammad that changed his mind. It was Allah. Yeah. The Christian God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, but not the one they worship. And so the revelations at the front of the Quran, when they differ from the ones in the back of the Quran, the ones in the back of the Quran are ruling, the latest, the most recent, when they're in chronological sequence. But since they're not in chronological sequence, you have to study the thing to understand what the heck it means or how to follow it around. That's why I got one in this order, because it wasn't worth the effort. But here's the point. If he's a genuine Shia Muslim, a real one, not just claimed to be, but if he's a real one, he's going to be nice until he gets to enough power that he doesn't have to be nice. In other words, he's empowered to lie to you. He's allowed to lie to you. He's allowed to lie for political gain anytime, every time, as long as his opponent is an unbeliever. He doesn't have the same rules to play by that you and I have. And if they get their way, if they end up ruling this country or the world, guess what? All of us who are not Muslim get a couple of choices. We can either convert or we can become dhimmis. Dhimmis are second-class critters. We had to pay a tax in order to be allowed to live. But there's no freedom of religion. If we worship, we have to do it privately, because we can't publicly wear something that declares us to be Christian or anything else. Yeah. That's Mamdani. And here's some of the stuff that got him elected. Free buses. Free buses? City-run grocery stores. Freezing the rents. LGBTQ whatever support. Free daycare. Free daycare. Well, the smarter people in New York are already on the way out. There's been a boom in residential real estate in South Florida, mostly from people getting the heck out of New York City. Did you know his campaign was funded by CARE, the Council on America-Islamic Relations? They like to support terrorist groups. Cool dudes. Oh, he proposed a $30 minimum wage. That's really going to do good. A $30 minimum wage. When he gets done, I don't know, maybe the rats will be the only thing surviving in that city. He's an admitted socialist. Secretly, I believe he's a communist, but that's... The thing is, where has socialism ever succeeded? Genuinely succeeded, for a while. Not an early rush of things look good and then they all turn bad later kind of succeeded. Did you know that Hitler was a socialist? That's right. I wonder how many people don't know that. Nazi. Nazi means Nationalsozialistische Deutsche Arbeiterspartei. National Socialist German Workers' Party. Nazi. Socialist. What about the fascists in Italy? Oh, guess what? Benito Mussolini was a socialist. And he ran in the fascist party in Italy. And he was congratulated for his position by the Soviets, by the Russians. So between the Germans and the Italians and the Russians and the Chinese and the Cubans and a couple of others, somewhere between 120 million and 130 million people were killed in the 20th century by socialists. And what about Mr. Mamdani's position? We'll get it right this time. Try it. Trust us. We screwed it up 50, 100 other places over the years, over the centuries actually. But this time we'll get it right. Yeah. You know, the United States, when one of the first colonies here was set up as a socialist colony, they almost starved to death until they got permission to keep the gain. You go out and plant crops, you got to keep them. And if you could then trade them with somebody else, but you weren't required to share with everybody, then it started to prosper. So you voted for a socialist. You voted for a Muslim. and you're Jewish. I really think you ought to go get your head examined. This is astounding. I can imagine people with no religious understanding at all, no heritage, no culture, might be conned by this guy. But even if you're not an observing Jew, even if you just live in a Jewish community, your culture says you work for a living. You don't rely on free stuff. And there's no such thing as free stuff anyway, by the way. The free buses and the rent stuff and the free daycare and other things that this guy is for, they're all got to be paid for by somebody. He says that he'll get that money from the billionaires. Yeah. How many of them you think are going to leave town because they don't want to be, screwed any worse than they're already getting screwed? God have mercy on you people. And that's one old man's opinion on Mamdani. Oh, well, yeah, it's that old Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. Here we are. It's pretty darn interesting. Like, subscribe, share. Do something nice for somebody next to you or near you. Give a couple bucks to one of those beggars at the fast food store. You can never tell. They might really need it. And if they don't, well, that's on them, not on you. Thanks for watching. Travel with God.